All right, I'm about to talk about using the 12-week year for health and relationships. I'm eating chips and drinking soda, and I just had a vanilla buttercream cupcake. It's all about balance, I guess. I have my big jug of water here, so that's the balance I'm seeing right now. Hey there, thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the inside scoop on how I use the 12-week year for health and relationship goals. This is going to be a companion video to my talking about how I'm using the 12-week year to increase my income, and that's up on the main Well Behaved Wallet channel. If you haven't seen that already, then please go check that out as well. So jumping right into it. I have been using the 12-week year for 4 years now, and I don't even remember where I first heard about it, but it is a fairly detailed system for tracking your progress towards your goals. And it's simple, but it can be a little bit involved. So that's kind of, I've been using the 12-week year for about 4 years now, and it works 100%. If you work it, it works, and it's a great system for tracking your progress toward your goals. I have the book right here. I will walk you through the process and why I think this process is very effective. It is very disciplined and very involved, but it's very simple. So all those things can be true. It can be simple, involved, and effective. The authors talk about the 5 execution disciplines, and those are vision, planning, process control, measurement, and time use. Of all of those 5 things, the measurement is the hardest part for me, to actually stay consistent and measure, hold myself accountable when I'm not doing what I should be, and actually get myself in gear to do what I know I need to do. And with the 12-week year, you will know right away. It's a very immediate feedback system when you know, so you know immediately if you're not doing what you ought to be doing. In addition to the 4 execution discipline, the authors also talk about the emotional cycle of change. This is a process you move through as you're trying to move from where you are to where you want to be. The 5 stages in the moving through the emotional cycle of change system are the following: uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, valley of despair, informed optimism, and then success and fulfillment. I have done this process now 4 times in the past 4 years. Sometimes I stick with it, sometimes I don't. I have never done it perfectly, but I can tell you each and every single time I have done this process, I have seen results. Even though I didn't do it perfectly, I saw some form of results each and every time I've done it. And obviously, the more I stick with the tactics that I set out for myself, the more effective and the greater results I've seen. Specifically when it comes to health and relationships, and I'll actually talk about them the other way. When it comes to relationships and health, these things for me tend to be a little bit easier than working on my income, on increasing my income, because for the most part, when it comes to health and relationships, I'm the one that is more in control of my actions. They just come easier to me in those areas. However, there are always things that I want to improve. So specifically when it came to relationships, when I started doing this process back in 2018, there were a few things in my life that I knew that I wanted to change, and I was at a point where I was ready to change and just really receptive to this new way of tracking and quantifying how I was going to change. So I would say number 1 was that I was ready for this change. So I don't want to give the process, this book, the entire credit, but I was certainly ready for that kind of change that I was seeking. So emotionally, I had come to a point where I was entangled in a fantasy relationship, and I just decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. So I decided that I was going to move beyond that in my life. I put these tactics in place to help me get ready to move into the type of relationship that I wanted. So I knew that I was where I didn't want to be, but kind of recognizing that, and then what I didn't want, identifying the things that I didn't want, helped me to create a vision for what I did want. That vision was very important in helping me move toward the type of relationship that I did want. I will leave the 12-week year spreadsheet linked down below so you can check out how I score my 12-week year and how I use these tactics. So I put these specific tactics in place and how I score myself, and then I can quantify if I'm moving further toward my goals or further away from my goals. So these are some of the tactics that I have used in the past for relationships. So where I was unfulfilled, no relationship, entangled with fantasy in my mind. And I knew that I wanted to move toward a solid, fulfilling, encouraging relationship where we could both help each other to grow. First, I knew I had to get myself ready for this relationship. So my overall goal was to cultivate love and appreciation in my life. Now that sounds really sort of airy-fairy and very nebulous and not very specific at all. But here are the tactics that I used to actually quantify how I was moving towards cultivating love and appreciation in my life. 3 tactics. Number 1 is identify relationship fears and replace them with the truth. Now, this is one that I came on from doing this exercise. I made myself do it and write it down. It was super helpful. For example, the lie that I was believing was that if I made too much money, I would end up supporting my partner. But if I didn't make enough money, I would end up dependent on my partner. So that kind of kept me stuck in this sort of limbo land of not earning enough, but feeling uncomfortable with the level of income that I was bringing in. So that both touched on my relationship fears and my income fears. So I replaced that lie with this truth. I will learn and grow with my partner and feel fantastic doing it. My income will grow as my partner's income grows. And that's a truth that I took out that lie. I spoke that lie out loud, threw it away, and replaced it with the truth. I will learn and grow with my partner and feel fantastic doing it. My income grows as my partner's income grows. And that is a truth that I choose to internalize and live in my life. It's not easy. It's not, for sure not easy at all. But it's a truth that I am choosing to believe, and I'm no longer choosing to be available for that lie. Other very practical tactics that I did on the relationship side was to record at least 5 daily appreciations. And I still do that today. I have my little affirmations journal that I love using. This is an old Filofax notebook. And I do that every single day. It's part of my morning practice and I adore it because it helps me. It allows me to feel grateful and thankful for what I have and dwell in that, as opposed to focusing on what I don't have. And another tactic is to declare daily affirmations out loud. I am available for love. And these affirmations change depending on the season of life that I'm in and where I am as far as an individual relationship goes. So once more, I want to say that these tactics 100% work. They did work for me. It is a slow process with many peaks and valleys for sure, but it works. So just again to say very practically, if you are wanting to work on relationships, some tactics you can do are just talking to new people. So make it a goal to speak to 5 new people every day in your daily life. It's challenging, but you can totally do it. If you're going grocery shopping, if you're going to a park, or if you're out and about walking, you can. Once you have the awareness that this is something you want to do, just put it in your mind and you'll be surprised at how naturally you will find ways or make excuses to achieve your tactics once you put that in your subconscious that this is something that you want to do. And make it fun. Don't make it sort of something that you have to do. Make it a game to see how high you can score. So those are kind of my thoughts on tactics for improving love and relationships in your life. Area 2 is the area of health. This was an area that I noticed that I was kind of getting a little bit soft in physically. So I've always been someone who prioritizes health and fitness. I wasn't really fit growing up at all. I have a very strong sweet tooth that I continually work to lessen because I have blood sugar history issues in my family. So that's something that I'm very aware of on the health front. So here are the tactics that I'm using in this round of the 12-week year for my health. I aim to have 3 to 5 servings of fruits and veggies every day, and that's 7 days a week. I use powdered greens, so that helps a little bit. But it's a reason to sort of see how much green and veggie I can get into my diet because I know that I've set that goal as a tactic. At least 30 minutes of cardio 5 times per week. I don't know if that sounds extreme or not extreme, but that's how much cardio I aim to do. Track all my food. I use the MyFitnessPal app on my phone. I just can enter in the food, so that's very effective. And then I aim to stop eating after 8 or 9 p.m. Because if I'm eating after 9 p.m., it's not good, healthy eating, usually. I mean, there are obviously exceptions if I'm out doing something or whatever, out at a dinner. But those are very rare. They're maybe once or twice a month. On the daily, with my habits, I aim to stop eating after 8 p.m., 9 at the latest, because that's not healthy eating. as I'm sort of setting my goals as well for health, I have my ultimate goal that I want to reach. What I had been doing in the past was just restricting it to a month. Like, oh, is this the month that I hit that goal? So what I've done is I've taken that goal and I've broken it up into 1-month chunks. So by the end of the 12-week year, my goal is to have achieved that goal. And it's a weight goal. I'll share that with you because I plan to be doing an update video whether or not I achieved my fitness goal. This is kind of one that I really want to achieve. So I'll update you on my progress there. And for me, it's really important to have in mind the overall vision of how I want to eat. I've done like Atkins and keto in the past, and that is sort of my natural preferred way to eat, is very focused on protein, fresh veg, and fruit, rather than the processed anything carby type stuff. I know veggies and fruits are carbs, but so healthy, unprocessed carbs. But I don't want to be restricted, and I don't want to feel beholden to a plan. I want to eat healthfully and to have that become part of just my daily natural habits. So that is why I'm focusing specifically on fruits and veggies, but naturally healthy approach to eating. So that's where I am. That's how I use the 12-week year for health and relationships. If you have any questions, let me know. If you haven't already, go check out that video on how I use a 12-week year to increase my income. Thank you so much for watching.